If you were no longer affected by the judgment of others and you stopped judging yourself, would you make different choices? Why make choices in your life based on judgments instead of on your awareness of what would create the life and living you desire? Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm.
Well, here we are again, another show of Inspired Choices. I wonder what we're going to create tonight, folks. Whether you're listening live or you're listening in the replay, please know I really appreciate your contributions, and I love to hear from you. I love your input. Please come and play in the chat room if you can. It is such an amazing place that it's backstage. We laugh, we play. I have so many people that are contributing great questions and comments, and I would love to hear from you, because without you, the listener, these shows don't actually get created. We may think we're doing it all on our own, and we're not. Your contributions are huge, and I just want you to know I'm very, very grateful for each and every one of you. If you are listening in the replay, please feel free to send me an email with your thoughts, comments, questions, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. So you are listening to A2Zen.fm. Today is November the 11th. 2015. Wow, I kind of hesitated because this is kind of a significant day, and I'm going to come back to this once we get going into the show. So tonight's show is My Whole Life is Falling Apart. How does it get any better? Yeah, it's sarcasm, and get ready for lots of that tonight. So if you like that kind of humor, you're in the right place. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I am a possibilities coach. I do so many things, and I love working with individuals and organizations to create with them what it is that they desire, deeply desire, with all the possibilities that are truly available in the universe. Many of us don't believe it's possible. I know it is. I'm an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator, an energy healer, radio show host, producer. I do a lot of different things, and I love to create. Above everything else, I love to create. I love doing lots of different things, and I like to see what we can create together to create the world that we truly do desire. Are you willing to step into your brilliance? Are you willing to claim it? Are you willing to be different in the world? Connect with me. My programs assist in bringing more people's dreams, possibilities to actualization. While I do charge for my services, the first 5 minutes are always free. So feel free to contact me. You can connect with me through inspiredchoices.ca, on Facebook, Inspired Choices Inc., or you can email me, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. So tonight, My Whole Life is Falling Apart. How does it get any better than that? What the heck is going on? Why does it feel like everything is blowing up? Do these questions sound like you? Do you find yourself circling back around to them over and over again? Well, stop. It doesn't have to continue. You can change it all, and that's what we're going to be working with tonight. So if you would like to call in with your questions, with your comments, in the U.S., it's 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at A2Zen.fm. Or again, come to the chat room at A2Zen.fm. Along the top bar, you'll see chat room. Come on in and play, and please ask your questions. They really do contribute. So November the 11th, 2015. Of course, this is Remembrance Day in Canada and Veterans Day in the United States, where we take time to acknowledge the contributions that people have been throughout the world, throughout many, many years, and continue to be. My father was in the Air Force. Many of my uncles were in the Air Force in World War II, and there's not been anyone in my family or anyone that I've known personally who have been involved in anything in my lifetime, truly. But I know that there's so many people all around the world that can certainly look to individuals and groups and organizations that have contributed to keeping our beautiful country safe and protected. And for that, I am truly grateful. So November the 11th, besides it being so significant for so many of us, November the 11th for me has been a really very, very big, significant day, most especially in 2008. I had been going through my life and really questioning a lot of what I was creating, which I used to say was showing up or kept happening to me. And in 2008, I began to look at changing things in my life. I had just come out of a massive depression, was pretty close to suicide, and was really not enjoying anything. To be truthful, there really wasn't anything in my life. And I kept seeking. And one of the things that I came across was a modality called Body Talk. There was an amazing woman who contributed to me through that process. And after this particular session on November the 11th, 2008, I walked out of that session and there was this clarity that came over me. And in that moment at 11 o'clock, I chose to stop smoking. And it was just like, I'm done. It was one of those moments when I just knew. Now, I also knew that it may not be totally ease, but I knew I was done. Felt frigging amazing to finally get that knowing. And I'll tell you, that puppy felt like it was a fucking monkey on my back that was never going to get off. I had tried so many times to quit, but this time I stopped. Later that night, I went home and I was excited. I had this renewed energy within me. And I decided, I made the choice to say, today, I am going to start my business. So while I stopped smoking, Inspired Choices was born. Inspired Choices was born on November the 11th, 2008. So today is my 7th anniversary. Like, holy crap. I'm just realizing this as I'm saying this, you guys. Well, of course I know it. I've been busy all day and haven't really looked at that. So many times in our lives, and guys, get the Kleenex ready because there's a lot of tears in my world today. So many times in my life, it's felt like everything was falling apart. And today is no exception. I know it's not all mine, and yet it's tough. It's a tough fucking day. Do you ever have those days? Do you ever feel like it's never going to fucking end? I have felt that way so many times. And guess what? It has been changing. I just was identifying the energy, the feeling, as it being the same. But when I started to look at the evidence, it was different. So it is definitely different. And what I know, and if you're here, please know you're not alone. Not by a long shot. I'm telling you, when we come together and we say, hey, even if I'm down there crying with you, I got your back. When we come together and we really look at what is going on and we start to identify the brilliance in all of it, we can begin to change it. So when things feel like they're blowing up, maybe they really need to blow up. Maybe the blowing up shit is a place where things can actually get better. So Patty says, yes, today and yesterday, I just want to give it all up and go away somewhere where I can start over as invisibly as I can. Oh, my God, Patty, I so get that. Oh, my gosh. How many people right now are in the world feeling this way, experiencing this, creating the chaos in their life that they just want to run away? A lot. So everywhere you're buying into all this fucking crazy shit is all yours. Would you be willing to look at it? Would you be willing to choose something new? And would you be willing to wipe the slate clean just right now? Okay, everyone listening to me, no matter whether you're listening on November the 11th or you're listening on any other day, I want you to put your feet on the floor. I want you to straighten your back. I want you to look up. Put your eyes up. And if you're driving, please don't do this, but just look forward. And I want you to know that you are looking forward. You are looking up. Even when it feels like nothing is changing, nothing is getting better, everything is moving. The desk that I'm sitting at right now is solid. If I ran into it with my foot, it would hurt. But if the molecules were under a microscope, they would be moving, correct? It's the same with the breath in your chest. It's the same with your creations. It's the same with all of the energy in the universe. It is moving and it is changing. What if we are looking for the same evidence with this energy, with this feeling, and that's what we actually get to, quote unquote, see? What if we were willing to look at it and say, what else is here that I haven't been willing to acknowledge, that I haven't been willing to claim? Tell me something. How many of you out there can perceive the cold air when the temperature starts to change, or perceive the wet rain as it drips on your shoulders? Do you know that you can perceive energy just as easily? We've just turned it off for a long time. As a seeker, I kept seeking, and that was the thing that kept me moving beyond the heaviness of anything that was going on in my life. And I knew that things were greater. I knew that things were more possible, just like I know today. But here's what I absolutely know is because we can pick up the energy, we're picking up the energy of others who are in this heavy place. So today being November the 11th, how many of us are picking up sadness because people are looking at memories? How many of us are picking up frustration because although we've promised to remember and never forget, we keep creating the insanity of war in this universe, in this world? How many of us are tired of listening to it? And we turn off the TV hoping that if we ignore it, it will change, all the while knowing it's not going to change that way. Please know that if you are experiencing the energy feeling of anger, frustration, sadness, it's a lie. Anything that's heavy is a lie. And I know if you've listened to my shows before, you've heard me say this again and again. And you know what? I'm not only saying it for you, I'm saying it for me too, because cute I am. Sometimes I forget to. So I want to invite you over the break. I want you to invite you to ask, what has been heavy in my universe today? And then when it pops up, can you just ask, who does that belong to? And if it lightens just a teeny tiny little bit, if it just shifts a little, if the corners of your mouth shift, if your body moves just the tiniest bit, please know it is not yours. Oh, some of it might be, but I'll put money on 90% of it's not. What if I'm crazy and this is possibly true? Would you be willing? Have you had enough of crying, anger, frustration, sadness? Have you had enough of this shit? Are you ready to play with what might be crazy that might change it? I know that's where I got to in my life. I was willing to try whatever the fuck was going to change it. And sometimes looking at our shit on a global platform on a radio show is exactly what's required. I'm so glad that you're here tonight, and I'm so glad that I showed up too. So we're going to go for our break. And when we get back, I'd love to have some questions from the peeps in the chat room, comments, and I'd love to hear from you if you're brave enough to call in. So you are listening to Inspired Choices Radio with your host, Christine McIver, on A2Zen.fm, and we'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
What if you really do change molecules by your interaction with them? What if the change you've been looking for is right before your eyes? What if the uncomfortableness that comes with difference could be fun? What if the closed-minded people of the world no longer determined our world? What if gratitude trumps judgment every time? What if your kindness healed the world? What if the earth is asking for your help? And what if you had the resources to give it? This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Picasso, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Aristotle all knew to be true. Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. What if there are no dumb questions, or any question too large? What if you being you are the gift and the change this world requires? Is now the time? For more questions to create a change in your world, sign up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. My gift to you, beingyouclass.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is A2Zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right, everyone, we are back. Tonight's show, My Whole Life is Falling Apart. How does it get any better than that? How many times in your life has things felt like they were falling apart and they never really, truly, completely fell apart? It felt like chaos at the time, but it was a shifting. You know, even when we look at the world and we look at the earth, and so many of us judge when something happens as a wrongness, right? When we have perhaps where we looked at, you know, like a fire in a forest, and so many of us is like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. That's terrible that all these trees are burning down, and it's awful. Well, what if it's Mother Nature's way of shifting something, of changing something? I have a friend who is actually a firefighter, and he's talked to me about this, and he has said it's actually not a bad thing, that it's actually nature's way of shifting things. And it's actually a good thing that helps to keep things in balance and helps to have the possibility of greater happening. Would you be willing to look at things falling apart from the aspect of it creating greater? What if it isn't terrible? What if the marriage that you were in, what if it had to get really awful before you would actually choose? I know for myself, I was in a marriage, actually two, and they weren't working. But I wasn't willing to walk away. And you know why? Because I was in self-judgment, that people would judge me and there would be something wrong with me, and there must be something wrong with me if I had two marriages and they weren't working. And for God's sakes, the first one blew up, so I for sure could not walk away from the second. So you know how nasty and awful that had to get before I finally started to choose? So it had to fall apart. And I felt like I was falling apart before I could choose greater. So what if the falling apart is actually the change that's required so you will show up and choose greater? What if you are stronger than you've been playing? And what if you choosing to show up completely and totally in your brilliance is actually what will change everything for you and maybe even people around you? Have you been afraid? Have you been concerned that people are judging you? Guess what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Who gives a shit what other people think? What you think of me is none of my business. And if I continued as I was in my life, choosing based on what you thought of me and based on what you were going to do or say, I would still be in the same crap that I was in 30 years ago. And that certainly is not where I am today. You know, my life is certainly not perfect, but it's amazing. Most recently, what's today? Today's the 11th, so 11 days ago, I moved. I moved into a home that is such a huge contribution to me. I feel like the goddess I choose to be in this home. And I have chosen items to place in my home to don the corners and the walls of my home to create what it is that I desire, to create the energy of the space that I want to show up in. And you know what? 4 weeks ago, everything was blowing up in my world, in my home. And because it blew up, guess what I demanded? That something greater show up. But guess who had to show up first? Me. I had to make the demand of myself to show up. Now, I know when you are in a heavy space, when things are difficult, when things are so overwhelming that you really feel like you don't ever want to be in this body, in this lifetime anymore. I know, trust me, what that feels like. I know when you're there, the idea of having to show up even greater is absolutely out of your mind. But what if you just did it once and you said, okay, right now, in these 10 seconds, I'm bawling my eyes out. In these 10 seconds, I'm angry as shit. In these 10 seconds, I'm screaming at my kids. But I'm not giving up. And I'm going to show up greater. And you know who I'm going to show up greater for? Me. When you show up greater for you, you can begin to change. When you are your greatest competition, when you are like, no, I'm not stopping no matter what. I don't care what I created yesterday. I'm going to show up more today. You will change things. When you're looking outside of you at other people and you're saying, well, look at her. Look what she's creating. I can't do it as good as her. When you are looking at other people from the energy of comparison, you won't show up greater. And when I say show up greater, I don't mean to create more things. I mean to move beyond the limitations that you have been playing with in your mind. I mean move beyond the limitations that you have created in your life, in your bank account, in your business, in your body, in your relationships, in your joy. But when you look at this from the aspect of I'm showing up greater for me, you start to change shit. Big time. We have Patty in the chat room who says it's not a pleasant feeling, too much anxiety and overwhelmingness. Overwhelmingness. Thank you. It's not a pleasant feeling. And guess what? It is a feeling. It's an energy. And is it heavy? So let's go back to one of the most brilliant tools that Access Consciousness has taught us. Anything that's heavy is a lie. You know why? Because you're an infinite being. And an infinite being would not create heavy. But when we are in these bodies, in this reality, where so much shit is heavy, we buy into the experience as truth. And therefore, the heaviness, we buy it as acceptable. Well, that's the way it is. That's the way it's always been. This is what happens. This is what always happens when I get my period. This is what always happens when my mother-in-law shows up. This is what always it feels like at Christmas. This is what it feels like at the end of the month when the bills come in. And we buy into this as true and real. Well, what if that can be changed? What if you were willing to look at it and go, who does that belong to? And it shifts a little. Would you be willing to play with this tool? And I mean really play with it, guys. Don't give me lip service. Don't say you're going to do it and then forget about it tomorrow. What would it take for you to write down in 10 different places right now, get some sticky notes, get some whiteboard markers, and write down in 10 different places, pull out your phone, anything that's heavy is a lie, 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 anything, motherfuckers, that's heavy is a lie. Do you guys get it? It's a lie. And why do we say that it's a lie? Because we would not choose it. Not our infinite selves. Our human selves, for some reason, and we don't have to know the reason, we choose it. But we can choose beyond it by using this tool. Anything that's heavy is a lie. And when you get it, anything that's heavy is a lie. Okay, cool. Now what? Who does that belong to? Doesn't matter. Does not matter who the fuck it belongs to. Stop looking for who it belongs to. Stop trying to save the stupids. Not going to happen. Just take care of you, for the love of God. What would it be like if only 10% of us on planet Earth took care of ourselves? What would it really be like? What if we were laughing and playing every single solitary day, even when crap shows up? What if we were laughing and playing? Do you think that we would begin to change the world? I damn well know that when we show up in joy and happiness, and we show up even like tonight when I was like, oh my God, I want to cancel this radio show. Do you think that maybe we change the world? I have some amazing people in the chat room, and I know there's lots of people listening. But you know why I'm doing this show? I'm doing this show because I needed to change my own damn world. Would you be willing to change your own damn world, regardless of anybody else? Everywhere you're buying into the lie that you can't change this, that you're not an infinite being, that you don't already know what it takes to change it, even if the cognitive knowledge isn't in your head right in these 10 seconds. Would you be willing to change it no matter what? Do you know how you do that? Okay, guys, get ready. Lean into the radio. Lean in. This is how you do it. I'm changing this now. This changes now. Enough. No more of this shit. I'm changing the world. Do you know that your presence here is not a coincidence? It's not a mistake. There's so many amazing shows on A2Zen.fm. I'm so excited and stoked to be connected with these amazing creators here. And these amazing creators will talk about choice, that we chose to come here, that we chose to be created, that we actually chose our parents. Well, we did. I happen to know that to be true. You didn't come here. You're not a mistake. You didn't just, drop in by accident. There's no accidents in the world. Like all my friends are saying, upgrade, bitches. Damn straight. We need to upgrade. We need to upgrade our lives. We need to choose it. Would you be willing to upgrade your life? Would you be willing to upgrade everything in your body and your being? I think we need to start a club, the upgraded bitches. How much fun would that be? Are you willing to upgrade even while you're bawling, even while you're angry, even when you don't have the money to pay that bill tomorrow? Even when you're spinning because you don't know what the hell you're doing with your new computer, or your printer's not working, or you don't have your taxes in, or the laundry needs to be done, or you don't have any food in the kitchen. By the way, all of those things are going on in my life today. Would you be willing to make the demand to upgrade? Do you know you can have absolute insanities going on and you can still upgrade? All right, we are going to go for a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what other tools can we be using and what other lies can we debunk to change our realities. I'm looking for your contributions. I'm looking for your questions. I'm challenging you tonight to really step up. You know what? I'm tired of listening to the poor me's and the, oh, I can't do this and I can't have it and the reason and justification for it. I'm done listening. I'm sorry, bitches. I'm done listening. I want to hear what you're going to do about it. And I want to hear where you're stuck so we can change it, not from an excuse space, but from a, I'm changing this no matter what. Okay, we are going to be back right after this. You are listening to Inspired Choices on A2Zen.fm. Stick around. It's getting hot in here, girls.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show.
Have you ever been on a land that was so joyful that your whole body lit up? Or swam in a river that brought all your cells to life? What if you are the gift the earth has been asking for? For the first time, Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here are facilitating a class for the earth, with the earth, and inviting you to connect to the earth in a way that you may never have before. What else is possible with the earth that you've never considered? The Earth class is a special 3-day class designed to give you the tools to create change wherever you go on this beautiful planet of ours, with the water, the land, the air, and people. It's inviting you to let the earth know you are here and for the earth, to touch you and let you know it is here for you too. You're invited to join Gary and Dane in Houston, Texas, or online January 24th to the 26th. Go to www.accessconsciousness.com/earthclass for more information. All proceeds will go to El Lugar, a non-profit foundation dedicated to creating greater ecological possibilities. What kind of world would you like to live in? What future are you here to create? Just go to www.accessconsciousness.com/earthclass, January 24th to the 26th. www.accessconsciousness.com/earthclass.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is A2Zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right, here we are again. Wow, things are shifting. Holy moly. So if you're just tuning in, we're talking about our whole lives falling apart and how does it get any better? Well, it gets better when you decide to choose it. Are you willing to choose it? That's what I'm really talking about tonight. It's so funny. I've been having a very, very challenging day. My allowance has outstripped my awareness big time. And I asked this morning, even in all of that energy, universe, show me something beautiful today. Because you know what? You can ask, and the universe does. And guess what? My wonderful friend and colleague in Access Consciousness and on the radio, Patrina, just told me that I'm featured as the online radio show host on the Access Consciousness newsletter, and she is featured with her book in there, The Creations, Conscious Fertility and Conception, Pregnancy and Birth. Holy moly, this is amazing. You know, when you think your world is dying, it's not. So where have you concluded that things are not showing up and things are not shifting, that if you were willing to ask some questions and make the demand to show up, you could change it. A friend of mine complimented me just before I got on the radio. I was thanking her for her skills and for her amazingness. She's got such a capacity with writing different documents, and it's a huge contribution to me in my business. And she said, well, I may have that ability, but you have the tenacity to jump in and never give up. You're damn skippy. I'm not giving up. And you know what? Even if I chose to give up out of this body, I'm not giving up out of this reality, because I'm an infinite being, and so are you. So Keisha says, I'm noticing some interesting stuff as I am allowing everything to fall apart. A very different experience. It is the allowance thing, Keisha. Exactly. Of course, I run a little short on that at times. Yep. Hell yeah, you is not alone. And when you be running short, girlfriend, you give me a dingle. I have people that I call on when I'm running short of my allowance. And sometimes I do require a good cry, because we pick up the energy of the crap with everybody else and we lock it into our beautiful bodies. Last night I was very, very happy and blessed to have 4 amazing beings come to my new home. And we had our very first bar share in my new home. It was phenomenal. And oh my God, before we were done, all 4 of these amazing beings had their hands on me at the same time. I am known to be the dominatrix. You do know that, right? It was so cool. And they started to shift so much for me in my body. And, you know, whether it's a whisper demand or it's a loud scream demand, when you keep making the demand, this changes now, the universe says, no problem, order up. Now, it's not going to show up the way you think it is. So get over yourself. It's just not going to show up that way, because you've got conclusions in your head. It's kind of like expecting my PC to run the same way as my Mac. It's not going to, right? Well, that may be an easy one for everybody to know. However, my brain still wants to go and look for it the same way it did on the PC. You get it? Your brain still wants to look for the same way. And what if the universe says, but Christine, we want to give it to you easier, faster, sweeter, yummier. If you will drop your conclusions the way it has to show up, the universe can give to you even greater. So Faith says, I've been told I have been digging in my heels and trying to force and control things to keep them from falling apart. That's not working for me, so I am willing to try things differently now. Awesome, Faith. Would you be willing to say what's required here? Universe, show me, and then walk away and do something else. Would you be willing to do that? We are always making the demand and then standing there expecting it's going to drop in front of us. It's not. Get over yourself. It's not. But when you are using these tools that we talk about, it becomes this generative energy that begins to flow. You know what a generator is like? It goes and goes and goes. Well, when you are asking the questions and you're being the question and you really incorporate that into your habits, like you do brushing your teeth every morning, putting on clean underwear every day, when you incorporate these questions into your universe and you make the demand that you show up and learn these new skills. You know, kids will learn them super, super fast, but we adults, oh no, we're too damn lazy. I think actually for the most part, we like our shit. We like to stay in our shit. If you're done with staying in your shit and you truthfully want to create something new, make the demand that you show up and you change it and you be the question. Start using whatever it takes. I'm telling you, I have sticky notes. I have a mirror that somebody gave me, a beautiful glass piece that I write on. I write on my bathroom mirrors. I have reminders in my phone. I have reminders in my calendar that pop up all the time. I am always asking the questions until it becomes a habit. You will hear me say, how does it get any better than that? Not from a space of expecting an answer, but asking the universe, hey, universe, hello, How does it get any better than that? When I'm asking that question, I be the energy, the curiosity energy of how does it get any better than that? And it starts to come. When you are willing to ask for more and you're willing to be more in your life, it comes. But here's the deal. If you're not willing to ask, if you're not willing to continue to show up, if you're not willing to put your hand up and say, I need help now, if you're not willing to say, Uncle, I can't do this anymore, you can't change it. So why do you think things are not changing if you're not willing to try something new? Would you be willing to look like a fool? Would you be willing to look like an absolute freaking mess? Would you be willing to look like a blubbering idiot? If you would be willing, guess what? There will be people willing to put their hands up and say, hey, I can jump in. Today, oh my God, I'm going to cry. Today, I have, as many of you may know, I actually am very privileged to own this radio station, A2Zen.fm. And I have 4 of the most dynamic, potent, kind, aware women that I get to work with. And by the way, we're totally open to men joining the team. So this is not a women's only thing. It just happens that they are right now. And today I was feeling so overloaded, so buried under the to-dos and trying to get everything done. And my inbox just kept filling and filling and filling. And finally, somebody, a couple of them asked, hey, I could help you out. Just holler if you need me. And finally I was at the edge. When you're at the edge and you're either going to jump or you're going to step back and holler for help. I stepped back and I said, okay, if you'll do this, that'd be great. So Rhonda took over one of the tasks that I've been doing on the station. And the 4 women, oh my God, we have a Skype group, and did they have a holler in there? They were laughing and carrying on. And they were saying, what, did the ground just shift? Did you hear the ground shift? And Carol said, oh my God, should we all start singing Alleluia? And oh my God, it was so funny. And it took that energy of where I felt pathetic, and it shifted it into joy and gratitude. And they want to be a contribution to me. How does that make them feel when they're a contribution to me? It makes them feel phenomenal. I know when I'm a contribution to somebody else, it makes me feel phenomenal. Would you be willing to allow someone to contribute to your greatness so you can be a contribution to theirs? Stop acting like you have to do it all alone. You're not on a planet alone. Psst. There's 7 billion of us. Hello? Somebody would love to be a contribution, but you won't get off your fucking ego ass and ask because you're worried about looking like a fool. Get over it. You already do because you won't ask. So Patrina says, what would it take to choose greater more often without having it hit crazy rock bottom? What would it take to not have to be pushed to the edge? You're not going to like what I'm going to say, Patrina. Choice. When things seriously start to go down that road, start asking right away. It's really that muscle, where when you lift weights, right? And it's like, oh, this hurts. Well, do it more often and it won't hurt as much, right? It's the same analogy. If you will be the question, and when everything starts to go off the rails or things start to get heavy, remember, anything that's heavy is a lie. When that starts to occur, start asking some questions. Put your hand up. Get someone that's got your back. I work with people all of the time, and I have a very dear friend that we connect like every single day. Rhonda Burns. She's friggin' amazing. And we've got each other's back, and we will show up as vulnerable and raw as it truly is. We're not willing to hide from ourselves anymore. We're no longer willing. We're done with this shit, and we're making the demand to change it. So if you're listening to this radio show, I'm going to guess that you're making the demand to change this shit. I really hope you are, because you know what? You came here to change the world, and the world really requires you. Okay, we're going to go for our last break, and when we get back, we're going to wrap this up. I can't believe this show is nearly over. Holy moly. You are listening to Inspired Choices Radio on A2Zen.fm, and we will be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
What if there's nothing wrong with you? What if you're far greater than you've ever given yourself credit for? What if it's time to know the gift and the contribution you are to the world and to like yourself a lot more? Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. Asking questions opens doors to infinite possibilities. And it's not about finding the answer. It's about being the question. Always. What I'm inviting you to step into is something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Newton, Da Vinci, Gandhi, Picasso, and Aristotle all knew to be true. What if no question is too big or too small? What if anything is possible for you? What if together we could create a kinder, gentler, happier world? Is now the time? Go to beingyouclass.com and sign up for a free video series, My Gift to You. beingyouclass.com. What if you, truly being you, are the gift and change this world requires? beingyouclass.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is A2Zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Wow, what a show. What a night. You are listening to Inspired Choices Radio with myself, Christine McIver, and my whole life is falling apart. How does it get any better? Well, guess what? If your whole life is falling apart, it can only get better. So that's a really cool thing. And you're not alone. That's another really cool thing. You know what else? There's tools. There are people. There are resources available to you if you are willing to put your hand up. What's stopping you from putting your hand up? What's stopping you from asking? You know, the tools of Access Consciousness and the body of work of Access Consciousness has been such an amazing contribution to me and to so many people all around the world. If it is something that you would love to learn more about, please connect with me, inspiredchoices.ca, Christine at Inspired Choices, accessconsciousness.com. Check out any of the radio shows on this station. There are people here willing and ready to share with you. And you know why they are? Yeah, it's a business. Yeah, they want to make money. That's a given. But guess why they do it? They do it because they came here to change the world. And they are so driven to bring it forward, not from a, I need to help you, but from a, hey, I know where the hell you are. I've been there, and it's not fun. And if you'd like a different choice, I got you. I got you. There's a few things that, there's many things, and I can't believe there's only 5 minutes left in the show. There's many things I'd like to share with you, and a couple of them are, I am creating classes in the world. I work with individuals in groups. Tomorrow, Carol Glover and I are starting the 5 days to change your life. There's still time to jump in, as humanoids do at the last minute. We are creating those classes in Cambridge, Ontario. We would love to have you join us. We're also having next weekend, Thursday through Monday, with Katrina Fava, we are having the 5 Days to Change Your Life in Toronto. So there's 2 classes coming up right away that you can jump into and learn more. And if you really want to change your life, these classes will kick your butt forward. It's so fast, it's phenomenal. Then there's also one-on-one work that I do with individuals. I have a program called Be the Dominatrix of Your Life. And if this show is ringing for you tonight, I can tell you you're going to get this and much more. I take off the kit gloves because you ask for it. Seriously, butt kicking in the T-dot. No shit, Katrina. You know what? I don't play light because I know that when we get to this space in our life where things are blowing up and falling apart, the last thing you need is someone to rub your back and say, it's okay, honey, it's going to be okay. You need someone that's going to show the fuck up. And guess what? I show the fuck up. But I show up for me first. Are you willing to show up for you? Are you willing to create greater no matter what? If what you're doing hasn't created what you desire, it's time to change it. Do you know how many people in the world are looking for exactly what you already know, that you haven't been willing to show up and share, that if you were willing to show up and share it, maybe write a book, start a radio show, begin a business, start to touch bodies, start to speak with people from a way of possibility, do you know that you could change the world? Are you ready to upgrade your capacities? If you are ready to upgrade, bitches, then show the fuck up. Okay, that's my new tagline. I love it. Listen, I would love to hear what you desire to learn about. I would love to hear what you would like to hear on the radio show. Inspired Choices has been going now for 4 years, and I've talked a lot. It's a good thing I enjoy talking. And I would love to hear even more about what you would like to learn about, what you would like to get beyond. If you're stuck and you'd like to get unstuck from something, or if you'd like to create and you'd like to learn how to create something, please email me, Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. There are amazing people in the world that are creating classes, that are creating radio shows, and that are here available for you for free. And I don't say that to buy into bullshit lack energy. I say that because I want you to start reaching and I want you to start choosing immediately. I desire to change the world, but I can't choose for you. That's only you that can do that. So if you are stuck and you're looking to change something, would you be willing to be like the caterpillar? Would you be willing to break every part of your being, every part of your life? Would you be willing to let everything blow up so you can move beyond the chaos? You know, to build a beautiful road to drive on in Northern Ontario, we got to blow up rock. We got to move it. In order for gorgeous flowers to be born in the spring, the clouds need to break up and the rain needs to fall. There's nothing wrong with that. So why are we determining all of the time that when the shit hits the fan, it's the worst thing? What if you were willing to ask a question? If you were willing to ask a question, you just may change the world. But you wouldn't want to do that. You wouldn't want to change your own world. Nah, don't do it. Step away from changing your world because it might actually be fun. Thank you so much, everybody, for showing up tonight in the chat room. Thank you for listening to me ranting. I was in a mood. I feel better. I hope you do. Come back next week. I have no idea what we're going to do, but it's going to be fun.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.